Hey, welcome back. This is John Myers, the sober Christian deadhead who also identifies as a worship leader and so much more. There's so many things I do. I'm a health warrior for sure, a financial prepper, educator, student, teacher, sharer, and been shared with many great men in my life and women that have mentored me. And I can't wait to keep doing these videos and tell you about all the folks I know and how much they've helped and how they can help you too. Um, yeah. So my last video, I talked about, I talked a lot about crypto. Okay. And I put a link into a great crypto course in my last video. I'm not sure if it's going to show up. It might take a day or so because I'm getting certified to share links. That's a process you got to go through with in YouTube to do it the right way, and I'm doing it the right way. So hopefully that link will show up. Today I want to talk about RFK Jr. And I have a lot of reason why. Those of you who know me, if you want to know something about me, I've spent many, many years in the health industry. I have been a advisor. I've been a marketer. I've been a consumer and a sharer, and I have brought many people to understanding of better health through proper nutrition. I'm not the workout guy, although I worked out. I'm not the health nut. I just use good, solid nutraceutical evidence to get results that others don't get. And I have great results health-wise in my life. I consider myself to be an amateur functional health nutritionalist. And that doesn't mean I eat right all the time. But I do know how to detox. I do know what to avoid. I do know what are the right foods. I do know what clean food is. I do know what it's like to live clean and be clean. And I wasn't always that way in my life, but I have been for many, many years. And a lot of what the damage I did to my body growing up has been detoxified out and healed. And God is great, right? There's power in the name, power in the blood, and there's power in good nutrition too. So here I am. Talking about RFK Jr., Make America Healthy Again. Maha, Make America Healthy Again. And, Trump has just put him on his team. And the position that he's in Health and Human Services is just amazing because what he brings, I don't agree with RFK on a lot of stuff, okay? He and I have different views on abortion. Politics, the very nature of the word politics means compromise. And you're not always going to get what you want. It's impossible. You're going to have to give a little and take a little. So Trump put a guy on the team that a lot of people may not agree with all of his policies, but he's anti-war, which I adore. I think that's great. That's good that he is. He's very, very focused on clean food, the clean food industry, market to shelf with organic clean foods, get rid of pesticides and additives in foods. He's also very well known for the Children's Health Defense Fund that he started and has run for years. He did back away from it while he was running for president. I'm not sure what his relationship is with it now, but he's the guy that the medical industry likes to discredit, as he's the big bad guy because he's the one that cites all the studies on how dangerous many vaccines are. And, he had a meeting with Dr. Fauci, and Fauci for 8 years said he was lying. You're lying. You're lying. And what was it he was saying he was lying about? Well, RFK for 8 years said, that of all of the vaccines that are given to kids, none of them have been safety tested. Now think what I just said. All the vaccines have been given to children have not been safety tested. And you're like, nah, John, that's got to be crazy. They would never do that. Those vaccines, those have been rigorously tested and approved. Well, RFK said, show me where they were tested. And Fauci and him got together and had a meeting. And Fauci said, "You're lying. You're lying. They've all been tested." And RFK said, "Well, show me the evidence." And Fauci said, well, I can't. It's back in my home office in Bethesda. It's not here. And Robert Kennedy said, well, gosh, I really like to see those reports showing all the test results. And Fauci said, I'll send them to you. I'll send them to you. And he never did. And finally, it was adjudicated in Washington, finally, that they never were tested and that RFK was right. And so I'm not saying that no one should ever get a vaccine. There's got to be some things out there that are important and good. But the 30 vaccines or plus that kids are supposedly have to get by the age of whatever. Why, I don't want to belabor this point, but there's just been so many childhood weird diseases and adult weird diseases that have popped up, really serious ones that if I mentioned on YouTube, I could get a strike against me. But so he's a fighter who's going to do some house cleaning and help with that crazy mixed up relationship. They should never be advertising pharmaceuticals on TV. We're the only country in the world that allows pharmaceutical ads. Remember, we used to have alcohol and cigarette ads on TV? Remember the cigarette ads? This is going the same way. The pharmaceutical ads will be gone. He's breaking the relationship between the pharmaceutical employees working for the FDA and vice versa. The FDA retiring into the pharmaceutical world and pharmaceutical world employees retiring into the FDA. And the FDA is supposed to regulate these guys. It's just nuts. There's so much money being pushed around. And in this last era that we had several years back, the pharmaceutical companies made billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars because we were forced or told we had to do something to our bodies. It's really interesting to hear women say, and men say for women, you can't tell us what to do with our bodies. You can't regulate our abortion. You can't tell a woman but we'll take that shot because you told us to. Think about the hypocrisy of the argument for forcing someone to take a shot, and then the abortion industry saying you can't hands off your body, you can't tell us what to do, and people are saying, well, I don't want to take the shot, and then the government's like, yeah, you have to, and business, yeah, you have to take it, or you lose your job. Think of all that crazy stuff that's gone on, and we don't need it, do we? So he's breaking up that disjointed thought process all across the FDA, all across the medical establishment. That's what he is going to do in the Trump administration. And like I said, I don't agree with a lot of his democratically held policies in some areas. And some things make sense. And this is one of them. So put him where he makes sense and use the man for what he's good at. So that's a little bit about RFK Jr. Of course, he's Robert Kennedy's son who was assassinated. He's the nephew of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the president who was assassinated. The whole Kennedy family wanted to disown him when he went to work for the Trump administration. And, he's a big Trump fan, right? And the reason he left the Democratic Party, because he saw all of the cheating. He saw all the lunacy. He saw all the crazy woke-mindedness. And he's like, I'm more like John Kennedy was. John Kennedy would not be a Democrat nowadays. He'd be a Republican, or he'd be a conservative. He'd maybe be an independent, but he would never go for all the shit going on now. So anyway, that's today's talk. I just wanted to let you hear how important I feel that health was. I'll give you one last example today in my office. Somebody put out some cupcakes. This is a true story. Cupcakes. Little miniature, little cupcakes. And they had frosting on them. And I walked by them and I counted. The ingredients list was almost half the top of the package. It's like about a foot by foot package of cupcakes. It 120 ingredients in these cupcakes. And I wrote on a napkin, 120 ingredients with a little arrow pointing at the cupcakes. And you know what? Very few got eaten. And people are like, who put that on there? That's amazing. I never thought about that. Yeah, 120. Meanwhile, I had some stew for lunch my wife made. Probably 10 ingredients, all fresh, all organic, all just wonderful. not an additive in it. It's like, wow. And I feel great. I'm glad I didn't eat those cupcakes. I'm out of here.